Hello from Gardening at Dwensa here in Ireland, and this is my monthly orchid flowering video. So these are the orchids that are in flower in August. I guess I'm going to start this video over here on the right, where we have this fantastic Dendrobium setigerum in bloom. Let me find more open flowers. Now this is the one with the incredibly hairy buds, and it doesn't disappoint. Just look at those flowers. You just want to stroke, almost expecting these hairs to be prickly. It's really a wonderful plant. Currently my favourite Latouria dendrobium, I'd say. Now the history of this one is I got it last autumn, and yeah, just Cataleya light and medium bark and weekly watering, and it has proved no trouble whatsoever. I love it. Above the Dendrobium we have the Phals, Baldan's Kaleidescope, the white one, the Vanda Princess Mikasa blue that I featured before, still in flower, and below that my purple Phal and some more of the blooms from the white one. And nestled in the middle of all that is Paphiopedilum Pinocchio, which I featured in the July Orchids in Bloom update. A lovely sequential bloomer that has produced one spike for me at the moment, currently with 2 flowers. It's a lovely one. Unlike the real Pinocchio though, this one has a short, stubby nose, not a long one. Maybe it just doesn't tell any lies. And moving down we have the gorgeous Cataleya you saw me buy in my French orchid nursery visit. This is Cataleya Louise, and her blooms opened pink and they have now turned to orange, and I think she is just gorgeous. This is a miniature Cataleya, a cross between Cataleya aclandiae and the smaller Sophronitis coccinea. So I guess the coccinea wins out here, making quite a small plant. And as you can see, it's got quite a complex lip with that yellow in there and pink here compared to the orange petals. And the orange petals are really quite flat, making a flat face to the plant. Very attractive. Interestingly enough, if you look up the online orchid register, you're going to find that the cross between aclandiae and coccinea was made way back in 1898 and is registered as George Hardy, not Louise. So I was a bit puzzled when I discovered this. However, a quick Google will tell you what's happened, and it seems that a French nursery called Cour des Orchids also made this cross and named it Louise after their second daughter, I suppose the nursery person's second daughter. So I imagine there's some story to tell there, and some kind of shattered dreams when someone went to register this hybrid and found that they couldn't because it had already been claimed back in 1898. Putting all that aside, Louise is a beauty, and I'm very, very pleased to have added her to my collection. Moving over to the left, we come across Phalaenopsis, Sweet Memory Liodoro, the one I got from Miss Orchid Girl in a swap 16 months ago, and you may have seen the video I made, the update on the plants I got then. But it's a first flowering for this Phalaenopsis, and I'm still waiting for the sweet scent to emanate, but I think it's just coming. And above it is Disa Menez-Tan, which I also talked about in my French orchid nursery video. The pronunciation of this name is not Menez-Tan, as I mentioned in the last video, but actually Menez-Tan, because it's not a French word at all, it's a Breton name. and this one is just at the end of its flowering season. I've just run to fetch my measuring tape, and the width of these blooms is about 12 centimetres. Now this one is supposed to get up to 14 centimetres, so hopefully next year I'll have bigger flowers. Well, actually it's a Disa, so it'll flower in 2 years' time again. But it's a good plant, and if we look down here you'll see that there are plenty of other growths. So this flower will die after blooming, and well, I'll have lots of babies to pot on and move on until, well, hopefully it'll flower in 2 years' time. Above the Disa we have Dendrobium Comet King, and flowering for the second time this year, as I mentioned before, and also in flower in July. Looking very good. Some of the blooms are going past their best by date, like this one here, but still a welcome addition. And moving to the left of that we have Prosthechea cochleata, which is looking really well at the moment, with several clusters of flowers and spikes to come. In front of the Prosthechea we have another Litoria dendrobium, this time the hybrid known as the Lutein Blanc, which I've featured several times before. It's a Belgian hybrid, and this one has been in my flowering videos over and over again. It took a little break there, but at the moment we have this complete flower spike. That's 2 flower spikes there. We have buds here almost open. We have another flowering spike there. We have one there. We have one back there. We have one there, and I think that's it. There's a sheath back there that may produce one in time. So a very floriferous plant, and compact, quite small. I love it. It's flanked by this noid Cataleya that I've had for a number of years, and this one flowered for me last spring. It had several spikes and it looked really quite beautiful. It's never flowered at this time of year before, so I wonder, is this it? Is it not going to flower again for me in the winter? There was only one pseudobulb made this year, so I suppose it might go on to produce another pseudobulb after this, but whether it can get its act together to flower again this year, I don't know. But it's gorgeous. That combination of orange and deep pink together is my absolute favourite. I love it. You'll notice that my Coastal Sunrise Cataleya, the monster, also has that colour combination. And finally, moving down, we have the Promenaea that Miss Orchid Girl swapped me 16 months ago, and which I featured in the recently uploaded video about her plants 16 months on. And 2 flowers, 1 bud and 1 blasted bud, but a lovely little thing, which is quite small. Look, quite small compared to many other orchids. So that's it. That was my update of orchids in bloom in August, and many of these have come into flower when I was away on holiday, so it was a lovely welcome surprise to come home and find, well, flowers waiting for me. That's all for now. Hope you liked this video, and check back for lots more of this kind of thing. Bye now.